Welcome back, class. My name is Sonja Geracsek. I'm a motion designer, and today we'll be doing another animation collab with Leela Taylor. She has graciously provided me with an illustration that she created in Procreate, and I've been setting it up, prepping it for animation in the last stream, and today I will be finally animating it. I'm very excited. I hope you're just as excited as me. So let's have a look. I'll tell you a little bit about Leela in case you were not part of the previous streams. If you would like to watch the previous streams to catch up, you can head over to my YouTube channel. You just have to search for my name and you can watch it there. So Leela Taylor is an illustrator and designer, and you can find her on Instagram under Leela Taylor Illustration, and these are the beautiful illustrations that she has created. And when I saw the first letter of this letter series, I immediately thought, wow, I can see this animated. I really enjoy looking at this design, and I think I could create a sort of fake hand-drawn effect. Fake because it won't actually be hand-drawn frame by frame, but I had Leela create 3 versions of this design so that the lines and the shadows and the colors are slightly different, and I can loop these 3 versions to create this sort of fake hand-drawn effect, but the rest will actually be just animated in After Effects. So let's jump right in. I've already prepared the file. Now what I need to do, I need to reset my layout, that's for sure. And I do not want the graphics panel. Okay, so I need to import my scenes, and I can import them here. I have this template, this animation template ready-made and set up. I feel like my microphone is slightly in the way of me seeing my screen properly. Well, I'm gonna have to fix that for the next stream. Right now it's going to be too awkward, so okay. Now I want to import the scenes, and I can do that by hitting Control-I, and this will open, and I have my folder here with Leela, and I have everything nicely organized. I'm a stickler for a good folder structure and good naming, and I'm going to grab this and I'm going to choose Composition, Retain Layer Sizes. I'm going to import that, and I really hope everything's going to go well because I don't animate merge, I don't know. I don't animate with Photoshop often, so I really hope everything's fine and the way it should be. And so I'm going to, I have this comp that was imported or created as I imported it, and I'm going to create a duplicate of that. I don't want to animate with my with the original in case I need to go back to the positioning to the original files and layers and so on. So I'm just going to grab that and I'm going to move it in here. Here's a dummy scene, and I have an animation main scene which is in here, so actually I guess I want to move it in here, but usually I also have a color for my composition for my top level scenes, which is, this is a top level scene, it's the first scene, and even though you might think that's a strange numbering, that's, I picked that up from a friend who works in the VFX industry. And the reason you have the first 0 is the reason you should always number anything 0, 1, 0, 2. It's so that when you get to the tens, that the 10 doesn't immediately jump up to the 1. So if you didn't have the 0 in front of the 1, it would be 0, 1, 10, rather 1, 10, 11 until 20, and then 2, and then all the 20s. So in order to avoid that and to have all of the numbers below 9 sequenced and then the numbers above 10 sequenced, you add that 0 in front of the single numeral, so 0, 1. And the reason I have the second 0 after the 1 is so that I can sandwich scenes in between 1 and 2. If this really only applies for very large animations where there's a bunch of different scenes, but I do try to keep the structure going for even small animations, because once you get out of the hang of it, then you get into a mess. And if you start with an animation that you think is going to be small and not a big deal, and then it ends up developing into a larger animation and you just disregarded all of your organization, I think you're going to be in a mess. This has happened to me many a time, so even for small animations, I don't disregard my regular setup. Okay, so I want this to be in here, and the scene is just a dummy scene. I can remove that. And as you can see, you cannot see that much because I actually need to resize this composition to the size of this. So we want a square size, and we want, it doesn't have to be. Usually I want to animate in 1920 by 1080, and I actually wonder if I shouldn't just do that, and I'll tell you why. I'm thinking maybe I should resize the original, but maybe I shouldn't, because it's good to have a larger size. So I'm just going to scale this down to fit the 1080, which is just about here. Is this not in the center? It seems like it's... Ah, no, it is. Okay. So maybe I can go just a little lower. 93 is too small. Yeah, let's stick with 94. Because what I can do here, instead of, actually I need to make it large enough for the top to reach. I can also go into transform, right click the layer transform, and then fit to comp height, and then it's exactly that size, and then the percentage of the scale will just adjust for that. And so what I can do is I can duplicate the background. Okay, I have two backgrounds. I think the second background is just the white. So what I can do here is duplicate this background. I'm pretty sure I can, there is an effect that does that as well. I forgot what that effect name is. I think it's something, I forget, but it clones the background in you can have it either vertical or horizontal. No. Clone? No. It's like a repeat. Repeat tile? Is that what it is? Expand to the right. 1. Let's see if that's actually working. Let's go back to animation. I need to turn this on. Not working. So maybe that's not the right one. Checker flip horizontal, I guess. Checker flip horizontal. Let's see. That's not working. Maybe this is just not the right one to use, or maybe it has to be 2. No. Okay, I don't know. I keep forgetting. I very rarely use this, so I keep forgetting which one this is. Oh, I see. It's like by pixel. No, I don't want that actually. It's just repeating like the little pixels, but I actually want to flip that whole thing. So I'm just gonna do it the manual way. I'm going to duplicate that and I'm going to flip it. I'm going to go to right click, transform, and then flip horizontally, and now it's over there. And then I can flip the anchor point to the left, do the same thing, right click, transform, flip horizontally, and then it's on the right. And then, yeah, okay, I forgot one thing. The fact it remains that, first of all, it doesn't seem to be set up to replicate, and the background has the A on it as well. I do have another option though. Instead of doing this, I can go into Illustrator, into Photoshop over here, and I can actually make the canvas size larger. So the width needs to be 3 times the size. Okay, let's see. Yes. Not exactly, but something like that. So now what I can do is fill. I can try and fill this. I'll tell you in just a second as soon as I've highlighted this correctly. So I'm trying to avoid highlighting the A, and then I'm going to try and fill color, no, color adaptation, sure. Content aware. Thanks, Catherine. Yeah, it's such a cute illustration. Leela did a really great job. Well done, Leela, for illustrating this in Procreate, nonetheless. I have never used Procreate, so good job, Leela. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see, sometimes it works really well. Yeah, but this time it doesn't, because I actually need an almost exact replica of this. So, what could I do? I wonder if any of these dots... Yeah, she's great. I wonder if any of these dots can be applied to be multiplied. How can I best approach this? Let's see. Okay, I'll just try and create a copy of this layer. Then I'm going to... I want to flip it. There's a way to flip layers in Photoshop, right? It's like in the transform options, I think. Okay. I think I need to adjust my microphone. I hope you can hear me well, because I've adjusted my microphone in such a way that it's not quite where I would like it to be. Anyway, okay. So let's flip this. I want to flip it horizontally. And let's see if I can somehow align this for it to make sense. So there's a little bit of this circle missing, and also here at the bottom. So I don't know if I can make it wider or replicate the background without a lot of additional work. So maybe I'll just undo that, go back to the original, and let's see if I can do something in After Effects after all. And also one other thing I need to adjust is the composition settings, because I start my time code at 59 minutes, so that if I want to shift anything backwards, I don't lose sight of it if I'm at 0. So if I shift something backwards here, if I pull this back, I can still see it. And I'm still at a relative 0 point. Whoops, I just X that. And actually, I don't want the... Shouldn't have added the markers on these 3. I just want the markers on the cut comps. Yeah, great. Okay, and actually I probably need to create duplicates of these as well because I don't want to manipulate the original. So I'm going to reveal composition and projects. Nope, come on. Sure. Okay, so these 3, I need duplicates of those, and of course they're now called that. I don't want that. Okay, to avoid that, I'm just going to put them in a folder. And then I'm going to duplicate that folder. And I'm going to put it here, but actually I don't need that folder anymore. So now what I like to do with my naming is, because these 3 are sitting inside of this scene, I like to call them, give them a subname. So they're part of scene 1, but they're subcomps or pre-compositions. So I add an A. And I do that for all of them so that they nicely sequence within my project window. So I don't lose sight of anything. And oops, the A is in the wrong place. And now what I need to do, I need to actually replace this with these compositions because these are still calling the assets. So I'm going to replace those. And nothing changes because the compositions, the assets inside of these compositions are still the same. I haven't changed anything yet. What I have done is just duplicate these compositions, but they need to link the correct pre-composition. Okay, and actually I also need to do that fun composition trick inside of these, so I'll do that as well. And I always set markers to where the beginning of my composition is and then trim everything just to make that even more obvious. And I'm pretty sure I won't be making this any longer than 6 seconds. The reason why I target 6 seconds is because the minimum requirement, as far as I'm aware, or how it used to be, the minimum requirement of an animation to be uploaded to Instagram is 5 seconds. And just to make absolutely sure it's not going to be rejected, and also because most of the time I animate, oh yeah, I'm animating in 60 frames per second, although I actually changed my mind on that, but I'll get back to that. Usually I animate in 60 frames per second, and 60 is a really nicely divisible number. You can divide it in a lot of little chunks, which is great. It works really well for loops and stuff like that. It's kind of the thinking behind the traditional animation where you used to animate in 24 frames per second. 24 is because you can divide it into smaller chunks without getting like half frames or something like that. But yeah, because I usually work in 60 frames per second, everything, all new compositions have now been created in 60 frames per second, but actually I've decided earlier, because I thought originally that, Hi Leela, welcome! You found the chat! I'm so glad. Yeah, so normally I animate at 60 frames per second, but today I decided to animate in 25 because I think Photoshop files are a little harder for After Effects to compute than Illustrator files. At least that's my previous experience. So I've decided to turn it all a notch down and animate at 25. Now, what else needs to be set up? I think, okay, this one I haven't set up yet. So again, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Leela. So again, I'll be setting this up at 59 minutes, and I'm going to 1 hour and marking these. So I'm using a lot of shortcuts to do all of this stuff, so that's why you don't necessarily see my mouse moving a lot. And the third pass, and then we are almost ready to touch our graphics. Oh, no. Oh, did I not change? Oh, I didn't add the start time code yet, so everything's super tiny. Okay. And plus 6 seconds. That's most likely where I'll be finishing the animation. Okay, I think we're almost set up here. What I might do is... I don't know how I'm going to fix this. I wonder if I could do content aware on this. I'm just going to test something. I'm going to duplicate this layer, and then I'm going to content aware, remove the A and all of its shading. Okay, so I wonder if this is going to be able to tell that there are these circles. No. It didn't understand at all what I was trying to do. Okay. Okay, let's see. We cannot change anything with the original. Okay, the reason I'm trying to do this, like, extending content aware stuff is because I might not necessarily want to just export a square format. Maybe I'd like to export a format for Dribble, which is 4:3 instead of 16:9. This is 1:1, obviously. Or maybe I would like a 16:9 version. So I always leave myself the option to crop my animations down. So that's why I always animate at 16:9. You see, I have these guides here. I always animate at 16:9 and then crop down to 4:3 or 1:1 as necessary. So I still have all of my animation happening in the 1:1 square, so that if I want to, I can crop it down to the 1:1 square, but I also have the option to animate or crop it, or export it rather, at the 16:9. So that's generally how I set up my work. So I'm wondering if I can just fake this, and I'm going to grab the color of this background, and maybe I will just mask these cut-off circles. Or maybe I'll just replace them. How about that? I'll just replace them. Yeah, I'll just do that. And then the circles will just not continue past this point, but maybe it'll still work. So let's try that. I already have the ellipse tool. I just need the color, which is probably a white. Yep, it's a white. And now just create an ellipse, try and match this shape. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave this like that, yeah. Sure, Leela, if you have a moment to do that now, that'd be awesome. But I can just create it like this. I'll just fill out these circles that are currently cut off, and we could probably just leave it like that. It's up to you. But if you want, it's just a 16 by 9, so 1080 by sorry, what was it? 1920 by 1080 pixels is what I'm currently working at. So if you do have a extended background for that, that'd be awesome. I'll still carry on doing this until we do have that. And what I need to do here, I can just increase the size of the ellipse. Yes. And then I can duplicate that again, put that over here. Excellent, almost the right size. And then I'll just duplicate this one. And then it looks like this. Looks a little wonky. Could probably get a few more of these. Why don't I just do that? I'll just kind of fake extend this just by a little bit. And then that might look quite cool, actually. And maybe another one down here. I don't want it to look too square, actually, because I want to just, I can have that on top. I just want it to kind of fade out a little bit. Sure, Leela, yeah, just a JPEG is cool. But until we have that file from Leela, I'll just play around with this a little bit. And then it could also be like this. So it kind of just sprinkles out a little bit. All right, now let's jump in. That's embellishments. We can focus on those later. I always get carried away with these embellishments when really what I want to do is animate, and I should be doing that. Okay, so I just realized I don't know if I want to keep them in these compositions because I need them to loop. So the little leg, they need to loop through. So, okay, I'll just show you what my intent is. So maybe, let's say 10 frames, 4 frames, 10 frames. 10 frames you see the one pass, then you see the other pass, and then you see the third pass. And then it would kind of loop like this, and as it's doing that, it's also animating. So this is kind of the look I'm going for. It kind of has this hand animated feel, but then the animation, the actual movement is just done with the After Effects properties. You know, I'll be rotating the ear and I'll be rotating the head, and that's no longer hand animation. That's motion graphics. So something like that. Maybe I want this to be a little bit less. I probably need to animate at 5 frame distances because I'm at 25 frames per second. Usually when I'm animating in 60 frames per second, I use anything divided by 6. So now I need to remember not to do that. Now I cannot remember if I went forward 5 or 6. It was 6. Okay. Okay, so basically it would look kind of like this. I think 5 frames is a good distance to give this this hand-drawn look. Okay, so that was just to show you how I'm going to do that. Now the question is, how should I approach doing that? Because I need to link the singular parts of the leg, of the body, of all of the limbs. I need to link them to each other. And I might actually, at least for the leg, use Doic to do that. But then I also need the different parts of the leg. So maybe I'll create a composition of just the upper part of the leg, then the lower part of the leg, and then the hoof. Maybe that makes sense. Let's see if that makes sense. So I have these passes here, but actually I'm going to be jumping in, and I'll grab everything. No, I won't grab everything. I'll tell you what I'll do. Oh no, the lower leg isn't... okay. I need to do something else because this lower leg is huge. Yeah, I didn't remove the surrounding of this apparently. And now the graphic is going to jump. Okay, that's not great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in here. And I'm just going to grab the position of this. It should be approximately in the same position. Let's hope. Yes. Okay, great. That worked. All right. So, before I'm moving any layers, I'm going to color all of these layers in. So the leg is going to be one color. Let's go for yellow. Then the body is going to be fuchsia because it's kind of the focal point of everything. The head is going to be... Oh, I have 2 times ear, right? Oh, that's eye and ear. Okay, it's fine. So the head is going to be one color, and all of these things are linked to the head. The head is linked to the body, and the upper leg is also linked to the body. But actually the linking I don't need to do right now because I'm going to be linking things to a controller most likely. So for now, this is fine. I still need to wrap my head around how exactly I'm going to link everything and do that hand-drawn, fake hand-drawn effect. So, I'll just copy all of these and I'm just going to dump them in here. Hopefully being able to figure out how I'm gonna do this. Okay, so what did I say? This was yellow, this was fuchsia, this was orange, and they were like this, and this was blue. Sometimes I just color the layers in the color of the effects. Okay, great, thanks Leela. I'll replace the background at the end. Thank you very much. Okay, and now I'll change, what was it, yellow? I keep forgetting the colors that I'm choosing for these layers. So the reason I'm coloring in these layers is just so I can have a better overview of what belongs together. And the good thing about these 3 passes is that okay, let me color this in first. So the good thing about these 3 passes is that each layer of each pass already has this 3 attached to the name of the layer. So I already know which pass it belongs to, which is great. That will be very helpful, I think. Okay, now the 3rd pass, I'll copy V. All right. So, whew. Now, I think what I'm going to do is create a composition for this. And if I'm using a single layer to create a pre-composition with, I can leave all attributes. I can use this option, leg, it's lower leg. And what that does is it makes the composition the same size as the layer, and it leaves it in the same spot. It doesn't move it as it would with actually I'm going to, while I'm doing this, okay, I'll finish one thought, then I'll move on to the second thought. The first thought is it will leave the layer, the composition, the same size and in the same position as the layer. If I use multiple layers to create a composition, I no longer have this option. I have to use move all attributes into the new composition, and that will create a composition that is the same size as the parent composition, which is going to be really exhausting if I needed to crop every single layer down and then move it. So it's easier to create just this composition for now and then move all of the other parts of the lower leg in there. So I'm gonna keep that. I'm going to put a little marker at where the composition is cut off, so that in case I move this, I can see that it was moved, and that's not supposed to happen. So it's just kind of like a warning little thing. Hi, welcome to anybody who just joined the stream. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Okay, so the knee, I think, is just here to kind of anchor the lower leg. So I'm going to put the anchor point of this composition there. All right. Maybe I actually need the knee as part of the leg, but we'll figure that out later. First things first, I'm going to grab the lower leg 3 and the lower leg, not the upper leg, lower leg 2. I'm going to cut those. I'm going to put them in this composition that I just created, that I just cut. Okay, now I'm going to cut those. I'm going to put them in here, and also this needs to be 59. Usually this number gets transported with, but not when you're creating the leave attributes, when you use that option. Okay. So, and the other thought that I almost started and then didn't was that I'm going to change the color of this composition just for now, just until I've pre-composed all of the little parts of the yellow, because every time I create a pre-composition, it will take over the color of the parent composition. And I don't want to keep on changing this color, so I'm going to change the parent composition, and then I'm going to change it back to the original. Okay, so now I'm going to create this loop. I'm gonna go 5 seconds forward, 5 frames, not 5 seconds, and then 5 again. And then I'm going to close the comp here, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put a little marker there and right-click time, enable time remapping, and I'm going to loop this little sequence that I've just created of 15 frames. Or is it 20? It's 5, 5, 5, 15. Okay, and I want keyframes of the instances I want to loop, and I want to remove any other instance, otherwise they are part of the loop. I don't want them to be part of the loop. I only want these 15 frames to loop. Now I'm going to alt-click on this and add an expression, which is just a very usual loop out, which is going to cycle this this little part. And now watch what happens. Nothing, apparently. I don't know why. Cool, 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 cool. Why is nothing happening? What is going on? Oh, okay. Right. So the problem of these two is that when I put them in, they were moved to the original position inside of the parent comp. Now I'm going to have to move them in the same position as the first leg. So since I have to do that, I don't know if it actually is that useful to do that pre-composing with the attributes option. But let's see. And also, I don't want, because these layers are slightly transparent, because of that, I don't want the previous layers to actually be seen, so I'm cutting them off. Okay, now watch what happens. So just look at this. Okay, it's looking, granted, it's looking a little wonky, but you saw the example of before, I hope. If you were here from the beginning, you saw the example, and I think that'll work really well. I'm not sure why there are 2 lines here. Maybe I need to cut this one as well, so let's do that. Oh, I see, of course, yeah. That means it's... let's see. Do I need that to be there? I guess I do. Why are there 2 lines? There shouldn't be 2. It's overlapping, which isn't ideal. Strange. So basically what's happening here is that the last frame and the first frame of this are overlapping, so maybe I just need to change the loop to be... Why can't I double click and this will open? That used to be a thing. Okay, edit value then. That is very strange. Why do I have 2 versions here? That is so strange. I wonder if I just need to loop it here. But then the loop doesn't work. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm confused. Let's see. And also it's going outside of this. So this should actually be just a tiny little bit larger and even larger. Okay. So let's see if that works. Yay, it works. And now I can move the anchor point to the knee. I don't know, maybe I need to make the knee part of this composition. I'll see that later. But I can move the anchor point, and I just need to hit Y for that, and then I can move the anchor point, and if I hold Control, it will snap to the closest anchor point. Actually, the leg has a little... Oh, maybe it doesn't because I have multiple knees and I didn't turn all of them off. So let's see how it works with the knee. I might do that later. Okay, let's continue. I also have an ankle and the hoof. Actually, I might just take the knees into the lower leg. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this from the bottom right corner, and I'm just going to add like 40 pixels to this. And actually, no, I don't need the height. Actually, I do need the height to change, but not the width. So maybe that was not enough. No. I need this to size up from the corner, so that's way too large. Yeah, sure. Let's go for that. And then I can transport the knee in here. The only annoying thing is that it then... Oh no. Okay, that was not a good idea because then it repositions my composition, which I don't want. So... Okay, now I need to think of a good approach of adding all the rest of this. You know what? Never mind. I'll just take... I don't actually need multiple knees because I think the knee was just a duplicate of the other knees anyway. So I'm going to remove these other two knees. Because I thought I was going to set it up differently. That's why I added all of the extra knees. Okay. And then the ankle and the hoof. I don't know which way to approach this just yet. Okay, I'm just going to pre-compose this. Oops. Sorry, just hit my microphone. Okay, so now I'm going to add the other upper legs, which are going to be in quite different positions. So I actually don't know if it's such a good idea to really copy paste them into that composition because they're definitely going to be in the wrong position. So now I'm thinking maybe I should move all of the upper legs at the same time because then they are in the right position relative to each other, and then I can just move them to the correct position later. Okay, to the composition. I can move the composition to the correct position later. I'm going to do it this way. let's see if this is a better approach. You never know sometimes what the best approach is to your setup. You just have to try sometimes. Okay, so as you can see, now my composition is the size of this, but that makes it really unwieldy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, I'm just gonna size this down. Let's just take this down by 2 again. But now I'm starting to cut off this. So maybe just 1 time by 2. Yeah. Okay, tell you what. I'm going to just reset the position of this, and then I'm going to have to reset the composition inside of my main scene. So let's just try this like that. And I want to go as tight as possible on this. I can probably go down to 300. Yep. All right. Now I already know that this is going to be somewhere in the middle of nowhere, but what I can do is, and now the assets come in handy, I can go back to my original comp. I can get the position of the first leg, which, yeah, right, because I made changes to it, is no longer in the same position. Ah, damn it. Always make sure that you're done with your design before you move on to animation, because as soon as you make changes to your design, things might change in After Effects, and that is never fun. Okay. But what I can do now is I can move this. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. That is not the thing I want. I want the upper leg. Okay, and now it's in the position of the upper leg again. And now I can do that quick animation, hand-drawn animation magic. Oops. Okay. And then I can just copy paste this entire time remapping. And of course I need to start at the right position, which is in the beginning. And then they're already doing that thing that I want them to do. Yay! Excellent. So the knee can just be one time part of this. And here I want the anchor point to be somewhere behind the body. And then I want to do the same thing with the hoof. So actually I'm going to go the other way, where I'm shrinking the composition instead of doing the first way I did it before. Oh, that's the ankle. No, that's the wrong layer. Don't want the ankle. All right. Where's my hoof? Hoof. My hoof or my hoof? I say hoof. Sounds nicer, in my opinion. Okay, and it's supposed to be below the ankle, I guess. So it's like these two, and then these two. I guess this can be below, right? It doesn't change a lot in the design. Now, and now I need the position of the original hoof. After I've made this smaller. Oh yeah, and actually I need to center this, reset, and make this way smaller, like divided by 4, even smaller than that. 200 maybe, yeah, that's about right. And then I can add the position of that. And now it's here. Excellent. And I want the anchor point to be in the center of the ankle layer. And I can get rid of all the other 2 ankles. I don't need those anymore. Actually, maybe I do, because then everything else changes apart from the ankle. Oh, that looks terrible. That's because this doesn't have the time remapping yet, I think. Is that why? Okay. And uh-oh, something's broken there. Uh-oh. That looks pretty bad. I guess maybe the ankle and the hoof does need to be above the upper leg. Maybe I do need the other little ankle bits. Or maybe the ankle just doesn't work for all of them. Maybe I can just not have an ankle. I don't know. It works for these 2. This one's kind of weird. I don't know what happened here. Slightly doesn't work. Something's broken here. Okay, I guess it works now, but then it doesn't work for the other 2, does it? Oh, it does. Okay, so I guess it was in the slightly wrong position. Okay. So now if I rotate it, is it going to rotate correctly? No! Oh dear. Okay, I might have to do some editing to the hoof for it to work a little bit more appropriate. Because now when I rotate it, at least in this particular position, it doesn't work. So I'm going to have to edit something out. It works for this, and it works for that for the most part. So this rotation works-ish. So I guess I do need separate ankles for all of these. So I'm going to have to get those back most likely. That's definitely not working. Okay, so I need to make some changes to some of these graphics to make them work correctly. But we are on the right track. So once I've made the changes and all of the graphics are exactly the way I want them, there's still some strangeness going on here with the upper leg. I wonder why. Ah, it's because I didn't cut this off. Okay. So it actually needs to be like this. Yes? No? Why is this not working? There shouldn't be this overlapping. I'm not entirely sure why that's happening. Because this actually needs to be here. The two frames are overlapping, which I don't like. So I don't know how to adjust for this. Because now at frame 14, there isn't anything there. And you shouldn't be able to see anything else but this frame. Okay, I'm going to have to fix that at another point. What I want to do now is just test if Duik is going to work well with this. So I want to highlight all of my layers from the outside of the limb to the inside. So I'm going hoof, lower leg, upper leg with the anchor points already in the correct positions. And then I'm going to use a plugin called Duik, which is a free animation plugin. Absolutely amazing that this exists for free. But if you do use this for any client projects, I would advise you to at least donate to these guys who produce this plugin completely for free. So, and then I guess I think I can just auto rig this, maybe. I wonder if I can. All right. Now I've auto rigged this. And that's the leg. Come on. And this is the controller for the leg. And now if I use this controller, I should be able to manipulate the leg as if it was a real limb. So I can manipulate this, and all of the parts of the limb that belong together will move and rotate and stretch appropriately. So this is awesome. So that's what we're going to do. Thanks for joining us, Catherine. Happy to have seen you here. Maybe you'll join us next time. Okay, so before I do that though, this is already working awesomely, but that was just a quick test if the Duik was going to work the way I wanted it to. But now I really need to figure out why this loop isn't working correctly. I haven't used this type of looping before where you just kind of cut off this layer, and I'm not getting the same problem with the hoof. I'm not getting the same problem with the hoof. I'm not getting the same problem with the lower leg, but I am getting that problem with the upper leg. And I'm not sure why. There's nothing there and there shouldn't be anything there. You shouldn't be able to see these two layers at the same time. So that's very, very strange. Maybe I just need to clear my cache and then get to clear my image cache. And yeah, okay, so now something broke. So now that's blinking and flipping. So that's also not good. So I actually do need that layer to go all the way to 15. Okay, cool. And that means that now, come on, let's re-render that. I still have the flashing going on, so I'll purge that image cache again. No, please re-render that. Now it's blinking. Oh, I don't understand. The cache with After Effects is just sometimes really annoying. Why is this blinking now? It's in the same position, it's the same length. All of these layers are set up. All of these compositions are set up exactly the same way. The only issue I'm having is with this layer. Why? But it's working here. So it really is just the image cache. That is so absolutely annoying. Come on, After Effects. Right, so I have a lot of disk cache to empty, so let's just do that for a second. And maybe it'll come back. Yay, it's finally back. Okay, so now that's working. But as I said earlier, the rotation of the leg isn't quite working just yet, so I'm going to have to make some changes there. But yeah, I think I'll leave it here for now because we've already been running for an hour and a quarter. So for the next time you'll see me on stream, I'll probably be continuing this animation because there's still a whole bunch of layers to pre-compose, set up, and get ready to animate. But I think where we've gotten to is pretty cool. And I hope you'll join me next time for another episode of the Animation Collab, where I collaborate with illustrators and designers to create a cool animation together. If you haven't had enough of me yet, you can go check out my socials. You can watch previous live streams on my YouTube channel over here. No. It's not here because you actually have to search for my name on YouTube, or you can go to links.sonjageracsek.me. You can find both my Twitch and my YouTube channel under that link, and also all the other stuff that I have going on. And If you'd like to support me, give this video a like, and if you'd like to see more of this type of content and be notified about it, feel free to subscribe to my channel on YouTube or follow me on Twitch and Instagram. On Instagram, I always update when I'm going to be going live, when something new is happening. I do, however, stream regularly Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. CEST, so you can swing by Twitch or YouTube during that time. And if you'd like to support me even more, I have a Patreon. You can become one of my patrons. There's a bunch of cool perks, and you can support me in the endeavor of being an online teacher and animator, motion designer on the internet. If you haven't had enough of me talking and telling you stuff, you can also check out my online classes, which you can find on my website, which is sonjageracsek.me. You can find that link on all of my socials if you are not that quick in typing and writing it down. I hope to see you next time with another one of my process streams. I hope you enjoyed this one. See you then. Bye!